Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cassandra World Party, second edition, and the second session for today, actually. My name is Ekaterina Dimitrova, and I'm with the project since 2019. Cassandra contributor, committer since 2020. And here today we are with Patrick McFarlane. We'll be moderating the event. We are so excited to have everyone today and hope you have a great time. A key goal is to get the community together. So please do say hi and get to know others from around the world. There is a live chat. Also, any questions are fair. So my co-host and I will be moderating today's sessions. To let us know if you have any questions, use the chat. And we also want to say a huge thanks to our event sponsors for enabling us to get together, Axon Ops and also DataStax.
All right. So my name is Patrick McFadden. I've been doing Cassandra work for, since what, 2011? So do the math. 11 years now? Oh, that seems a long time. But I've been a contributor for lots of things, from code, not a committer like Katerina. She's way cooler than me. But I do a lot of content around Cassandra, and I just love the database in general. So you probably see me around on videos. I'm the guy from the video. I don't know if people used to say that. So we have, this is going to be a party, and this has been kind of coming in for a while. Last year we did one of these, and it's been really exciting because we have 4.1 that's coming. And this is a celebration around Cassandra that we want to try to do every year. Now, we have some talks that are going to be really fantastic and 5-minute long. First, we have our Safe OS system upgrading by rebooting. And that's by Serban Teodescu. And Katerina, you do it better than I do. Serban. Thank you. I want to make sure everyone's name is right. I value your contribution. And then we have Cassandra's backend streaming graph with Quine, and that's with one of the creators of Quine, Ryan Wright, sorry. And we have improved snapshots with Cassandra 4.1 from Paulo Mata, who's been working on this, so he better know what he's talking about. And we have what is Netflix waiting for in Cassandra 4.x, and that's Vinay, also a person who's been a big part of the Cassandra community for a while, and a recognized name for sure. And I'm really curious about that one, and Katerina, because what is Netflix waiting for anyway, really?
Waiting? Why are you not using it anymore?
Yeah, right. I don't get it. Okay, fine. So at the end, we're going to have some fun doing a quiz. If you've never done one of these, it's a Menti. Have your cell phone ready, because that's the way you're going to want to do it. I've done a few of these before. Do not watch us on YouTube Live, because what will happen is you're going to be late. You're going to want to watch your phone. So we'll give you instructions when that time comes. So we're going to invite people on stage to share their stories. So if you have something you want to talk about, last year we had some really fun time with that. I mean, you never know when you get some random person up on the stage, what they're going to say. What could happen? Hopefully fun, right? So we want to hear how you're using it, what you're excited about in 4.1. Are you getting ready to do an upgrade? Any of those things. And these are, if you've upgraded to 4.0, great. You know that, I know that was just last year. We're moving so fast here now as a project. And if on the Slack, make sure you're signed into the ASF Slack. You can find this in the Cassandra channel, or you can find us in the Cassandra World Party channel. So we're watching both of those. So all these talks are going to be recorded right now, because obviously we're on YouTube, and they'll be posted to YouTube later. So if you really like to talk and you wanted to go back and see it again, that will be available. The links will be up on the Planet Cassandra YouTube channel, and you can share those events. And actually, we want you to share them, because you're here today and we really appreciate you being here, but amplify. Get the love going about Cassandra, because there's a lot of really cool stuff to do. All right.
I think the fun twist will be that we control the slides of the presenters. So every 30 to 60 seconds, whether they're done or not, the slides will be changed. So don't be surprised if you see something like that happening. It's not their fault, it's ours. We changed the slides. Okay, and reminder, presenters, you can still dance if you want, sing, everything is fair, it's a party.
That's right.
I think we can start with our first
Who's
session.
first?
I think it's Zerban Teodorescu, who is an SRE at Adobe, where he's part of a small team that manages 30 plus Cassandra clusters for Apache Audience Manager. Previously, he was a Python programmer, and he's still trying to find out how a developer who preferred SQL databases ended up as an SRE for Cassandra team. Apart from Cassandra and Python, he's interested also in automating his tasks with Terraform, AWX, and Stackstorm. So save OS system upgrade by rebooting. Hello, Zerban, nice to see you again, as I know you've been with us last year too.
Yes. You can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
So, hello, I'm Zerban Teodorescu. I'm working in Adobe for the last 5.5 years, and in the last 4 years or so, I've been working with Cassandra in an Adobe project of Audience Manager. This time I'll do a quick story of how we've done 2 major system upgrades of Cassandra instances using a method that I've stolen from Netflix at an Apache presentation. And this is how we'll probably do the upgrade to Cassandra 4.1 when we'll do it, which I hope will be soon. And also I should apologize that I didn't have time to rehearse this, as a couple of days ago I had an unfortunate emergency room visit. But so we can go to the next slide. So as I said, this started at ApacheCon 2019. There was a very interesting Netflix presentation hosted by Joey Lynch, named How Netflix Manages Petabyte Scale Apache Cassandra in the Cloud. The presentation was not recorded. This was before the pandemic times, so things were still happening only offline. But the slides are available at the link that I included. There were many interesting ideas there. Among them, that's concerns that about the imperative versus declarative control plane, and also software migration by using immutable EMI. And this is described in that in a Medium Netflix blog post. And this was from their presentation. The idea is that you have AWS instances with local data stored on instance store. This is data that is not being persisted when the instance is stopped. So you cannot just replace the root image. What they were doing instead was determining that an image needs to be updated, installing a special Ubuntu bootloader on top of the image, booting into that Ubuntu, and then in turn that one is not doing a full boot, but doing some booting tricks, some old sysadmin stuff to get the image from S3 and overwrite the disk before the root disk is actually mounted. As I said, all the sysadmin stuff. Back to our setup, why we have this problem. It's where we have 34 clusters in 8 AWS regions with replication factor 2, which is a bit strange. Usually to do a big upgrade, in this case we had the OS upgrade, as I mentioned, we would have done, we'd have used simply replace each instance, but doing that on 1000 instances, it's you are just asking for problems. It's anything that might happen will happen when you do it 1000 times. And even worse is that we have to do it on 34 different clusters. So I already knew that that wasn't an option. Applying the Netflix solution implied having EMI already baked with Amazon Linux 2, NewOS, and Cassandra pre-installed. That means no Terraform to plan apply. Using the same hardware and just replace the root without moving any kind of data around. And here I have a nice story that at some point I was discussing this with AWS support, and they had really big problems in understanding how we can move the data around. And they're saying that there is no way to move 1.9 terabytes of data in 10 or 20 minutes, as we were, and they were failing to understand that we were not moving the data, we were actually switching the root EBS. So that was a fun moment to explain them how things are working in their systems. Seven nice things. What this was very consistent. It was always going between 10 or 20 minutes when it was working. So how we implemented it, we used, because Netflix is open source, only the bootloader stuff and Ubuntu image. Implemented the DynamoDB cluster lock. It's easy to find this on Google. We are already using Puppet and using that for control which instances are going to be upgraded per instance, per availability zone or the entire cluster, and a bunch of Python scripts called from cron tabs installed by Puppet. And on the first, as a note, and the first upgrade, we had to move some folders to a different EBS volume so that between replacements, some data is being kept, such as logs or instance names and so on. On the first try, we had, if I remember correctly, about 5–10% instances stopped due to various problems, mostly due to hardware, because AWS has a hardware integration for YAML, and that was blocking S3 access. We are on a limited time, so we had no metrics. You can see on the second execution, I managed to install some metrics, and this is an example of running in parallel on 5 different clusters, and each of those nice lines is lock being held and then released and then moving to the next instance in a distributed manner. But this was only on the second execution, when we had to install a security agent that required reboot. And maybe we'll share this in a blog post as well with some more details. That's it.
That's great. Good job. You got through it in 5 minutes. Well done. And yeah, a blog post. I think we know people. Yes, that would be great on the Cassandra website for sure. Or on your own Medium. We would love to talk about it. Okay, next up. We have Cassandra-backed streaming graph with Quine. And joining us for that is Ryan Wright. He's the creator of Quine and philosopher CEO at that. Philosopher CEO? Oh, I got to hear more about this. So he's the creator of Quine. He's been leading software teams for focused on data infrastructure and data science for 2 decades. That's 20 years. That would make anyone a philosopher. He has served as a principal engineer, a director of engineering, principal investigator on a DARPA-funded research program. Again, I want to hear the background on this. And is currently the founder and CEO of that, the company supporting Quine. Ryan particularly enjoys the philosophical ends of computer science, and more practical and useful usually involves problems related to language, meaning, and data. Ryan, that was quite an intro. And thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. All right, let's get your slides up and you can take it away. And please be philosophical.
I think for 5-minute presentation, we're going to have to move pretty quick, so it may not quite be that deep. But my hope today is really to introduce you to an open source project that we just recently announced, just recently released. It's the result of about 8 years worth of work. And the reason it works, the reason it can actually kind of change what was previously possible is because Cassandra under the hood really makes a big deal. The capabilities of Cassandra have enabled new kinds of streaming graph processing, and that's what Quine's about. So it's a free open source software at quine.io. And if you're ready to hit the next slide, we can start talking about it. The big question to begin with is, what is a streaming graph? Because we kind of made up this term. It is something that lives squarely in between these two worlds. Infinite data streams, so Kafka, Kinesis, Pulsar, these kind of things are delivering just an endless supply of records, probably at a very high volume. And on the other side, combine that with a really expressive graph model that gives you the ability to talk about data, to connect data in ways similar to relational tables, but more expressive than that. So all data fits in that shape. And when you do that, you get the ability to run graph queries over your stream, combining together new data that just arrived with old data from minutes ago or months ago, either way. And so the streaming graph is really the combination of these two features: stream data in and use graph queries to express complex patterns for what we're looking for over top of that. So that's the concept, and Quine is new in this space for really bringing that to bear in high volume situations. And there's the next slide. So why would you want to do something like this? Why a streaming graph? Well, some of these technical capabilities have really enabled new kinds of capabilities. And things that were hard or even impossible in data streams, like multi-join patterns, which are just too slow to actually be practical in a high volume situation, those get solved with Quine and enable new kinds of use cases, like detecting money laundering. Or if you've got data sources from lots of different sources and different types, and your job is to join them together and handle out of order data delivery, then you can enable new use cases like cybersecurity XDR platforms to actually monitor that and find those things. With real-time analysis capabilities, you can watch for authentication fraud as it's happening, and you can shut those fraudsters down before they actually get in and log into the system. So those were previously impossible, and now they become new capabilities for stream processing because of how Cassandra works together with Quine. Quine saves the node data in an event source fashion. It means the deltas, the small little updates, those updates get written into Cassandra in very small units, not the whole node information, just changes to its history. So that gets written very quickly and efficiently off to disk in Cassandra, and then cached in memory to do graph operations, pulled back in only when needed by doing efficient range scans over known keys. Combined with other Cassandra capabilities like time windowed compaction and TTLs to expire out data that we don't care about any longer, enterprise users have been able to run this in production and achieve just crazy results like 1 million graph events per second as just even kind of an arbitrary stopping point. So they've seen it scale way past anything that anybody's been able to do before. And so if you want to try using streaming graph together with your Cassandra deployment, it's really a matter of set up your Cassandra system, start Quine and configure it to use Cassandra, and then an API call will start Quine consuming from your Kafka and Pulsar streams. Data comes in, it gets formed into a graph using what we call an ingest query. So take each record out of Kafka, form it into a graph shape. And as that graph gets built and changing dynamically, you can issue what we call a standing query over top of it to say, monitor the graph for these complex patterns I care about. Those patterns get monitored very efficiently When they get completed because of new data coming in, combined with old data pulled out of Cassandra at just the right moment, you get real-time results that can trigger updates to the graph or can stream data out to the next system. And so plug it into Kafka or Pulsar and deliver that data to wherever it needs to go. Plug it into Slack, notify some humans, notify some users about what's going on, and let them take action. So if you'd like to try this, it's really just the 3-step process of download Quine. It's free and open source software. Start up Cassandra by default, run it on your local system, and then just run the jar file, run the executable with the Cassandra storage configuration option, and you're off and running. At quine.io/recipes, you'll see examples of particular applications that are all run with just one little command line. You can plug it into your Cassandra instance for local testing or change a few more configuration options and run it in production on a real live Cassandra cluster. So those kind of step-by-step instructions will take you from start to finish. And as we said, there's a bunch of examples of recipes that live live on the website that you can go poke at and play with and experience on your own. One caveat, if you do use those recipes along with Cassandra configuration, there's that little force configuration flag. We're missing a slide from this, but if you saw the last slide, it would point you to quine.io at the website, where you can see demos of it running live, quine.io/demo. And there's a Slack community there if you want to ask questions, get help, and just talk with others who are using Quine for similar purposes. So all of this is new capabilities previously impossible that were now enabled by Cassandra on the back end for Quine on the front end for streaming graph. Thanks, guys.
That was great. Are you also going to send us some blog post or something interesting?
Oh yeah, we're writing all sorts of things. So it's lots to talk about and lots to say. It's the product of 8 years worth of work. So we're happy to share it with everybody and talk about it all day long.
Yeah, we will be happy to hear even more. It's 5 minutes is 5 minutes, but you said it's a lot of work, many years. So we'll be happy to hear more, definitely. Thank you.
Very much. Thank you all.
All right. And I guess we can continue with our next talk. I think we are waiting for Paulo Mota.
Yeah, he's out there somewhere. Well, tell us about who is Paulo? Who is this guy?
I don't know. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's a familiar name. Oh,
Yeah.
and he looks just like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think I know him. Hey, Paulo. So we are happy to have here Paulo today. He's Apache Cassandra committer, and not only, he's also on the PMC and a senior software engineer in Bloomberg. And he'll be talking about improved snapshot in 4.1 today. Happy to have you today here with us.
Hey everyone,
Hello.
what's up? Let's get this party started. Cool. So next slide, please. Yep, so I'll be talking about snapshots in Cassandra today. This is the work I've done with other contributors in the past year that will be featured in Cassandra 4.1. Next slide, please. That's me back in Cassandra Summit 2014. Good old days. Next slide, please. Okay, I got 60 seconds, fine. So yeah, today I'll be talking about snapshots. The snapshots are basically data backups that you can take in Cassandra. So when you issue a no-to snapshot command, you take a copy of your SS tables and they're saved to the disk via a hard link. And this is very useful command to take backups, but not only that. Can we pass the slide, please? Okay. And so, yeah, in addition to taking manual backups, there is this very underrated feature, which is auto snapshot through. And basically, whenever you drop a table or truncate a table, by default, Cassandra will take a snapshot of the data files. This has saved many lives before. Like if you do a command by mistake, you drop a table in production thinking it was dev, then Cassandra will magically save the data files for you so you can recover it. One problem with this is that these snapshots, they might accumulate on disk if you don't clear them up, and so you need to clear them periodically by hand or create a tool to clear those snapshots. So I proposed adding a new configuration to Cassandra, which is the auto snapshot TTL, and that you can set this configuration. In this example is 30 days, and your snapshots will be automatically cleared after this given TTL. This will allow clients to the database will handle this instead of like handling via external tools. What else? Yeah, so the way this works is that the DB periodically checks for expired snapshots and deletes them. It's also possible to set a TTL via node to snapshots, so via the TTL flag. And this work was contributed via Google Summer of Code. The student Aboli Palagashvili, mentored by myself and Stefan Miklosevich. So this was his work in the last year that we did together, and it's available on Cassandra 4.1. And so when testing the auto snapshot feature, I noticed that snapshots of dropped tables, they were not showing up in the node to list snapshots. And this is a problem because, I mean, they will be taking up disk space, but the operator will not be aware that snapshots of dropped tables exist. So we fixed this issue in this ticket. And now in Cassandra 4.1, when you list snapshots, it will also show snapshots of dropped tables, so you can inspect them or clear them if you need. Even though this looks like a simple fix, it required a relatively big refactoring to decouple the snapshot module from the live SS table data. And another issue that we found when working on this snapshot was that the snapshot true size was not properly calculated. So when you create the snapshot, they don't take up disk space when they are created because hard links are created to the live SS tables. So a snapshot recently created will take no space because the snapshot will reference the existing data files. And when these data files expire or are deleted, then the snapshot will remain there, the files. And then the true size when the snapshot is created should be 0, but in this case it was wrongly calculated. And now when in Cassandra 4.1, when you list the snapshots, it will actually show the true size that the snapshot's taking. So size on disk is the size of all SS tables of a given snapshot, and the true size is the actual extra disk space that the snapshot is taking. So in this case, as the snapshot was recently created, it will take 0 bytes, and as the live SS tables are deleted, then the true size should become equal to the size on disk. And yeah, this was a glimpse of these fixes and improvements to snapshots in Cassandra 4.1. We hope you like it, and that's it. Thank you, everybody. I want to thank also Stefan and Abuli that worked with me on this effort.
Yeah, this is a really cool feature, and I can't wait for 4.1 to come out. Yeah. Paulo. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. This is a good preview, and we already got a blog post from you, didn't we? Yeah. Okay. So next up, we have Vinay Chella. He's going to give a talk on why Netflix is waiting. And Vinay, we have questions, right? Like, why are you waiting? But the funny thing is, Vinay didn't really supply a bio for this. So Vinay, I'm going to make one up for you. Okay. So you might want to just type this one next time for this. So Vinay is a senior leader at Netflix. He works in the cloud database engineering team. I'm making this up all top of my memory, right? He spent time at Microsoft, where he was on the Microsoft Bob team. They built the operating system there. And he's also the inventor of the Java hash map. So when you use a hash map, Vinay was the inventor of that. And so we're very excited about that. He's also a committer on Cassandra, but really in a long string of major accomplishments, I think the Cassandra thing is probably the biggest one, right after Microsoft Bob. I think that was a great operating system. A lot of people didn't understand how it worked. You did. You were the vision behind it. But the hash map thing, you know, that's why we use it in Cassandra, because you invented it, right? So anyway, Vinay, it's great to see you again.
Well, thank you. Thank you for a great introduction, Patrick. And I really can't miss you. It's been almost 2.5 years since we met in person. And you just bring it back on, even you're virtual or in person. That is great.
Well, now you're gonna have to live with the fact that everyone's gonna ask you,
yeah,
did you really invent the hash map?
Patrick knows.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll put it on Twitter right now.
Uh-oh, no. All right, thank you everyone. Thank you for arranging this amazing Apache Cassandra World Party. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Vinay Chella. I've been practicing Cassandra for the last 10 years, since 0.7 version. I'm also Apache Cassandra committer and engineering leader at Netflix. There are a lot of exciting features coming in 4X, but this talk covers some of the features that we at Netflix are particularly excited about and looking forward to. In this talk, I present an overview of just some of the many improvements that are shipping in 4X. Next slide, please. A brief history of Cassandra usage at Netflix. We've been using Cassandra for over a decade. It has helped us build a seamless, globally always-on experience for our users. And it has also presented itself as a de facto database for 99% of streaming persistent data. Next slide, please. A typical use cases on Cassandra, instead of going through a long list of use cases, I thought of why don't I share about very uncommon, atypical use cases that you've ever heard of being built on top of Cassandra. And if you have already doing that, that is great. Some of them are, starting with storing microservice JSON data, which is like petabyte scale and lots of big payloads. Storing device logging data, which is very high traffic use case. Billing and payments use cases, which is very complex in terms of functionality and complaints, and also like PIA data. Great. Now that we have seen where Netflix uses Cassandra, let's take a quick look at what are the, what are we at Netflix most excited about. Next slide, please. We try to categorize that into 3 broader buckets. Next slide, please. We try to categorize that into 3 broader buckets: reliability, correctness, and new features. Next slide, please. To start with, in terms of reliability, one of the significant improvement is in the internal networking. Like so far, client server already fully async, right? Especially with the SQL. But however, now server-to-server communication is also async as well. With the introduction of non-blocking IO messaging service, we don't have any more thread per code, thread per connection architecture. It is fully async, which is close to 20% faster, and also enabled Cassandra to use some of the most critical OS networking features. Now we can also safely restart Cassandra servers without impacting high throughput, bigger sized Cassandra clusters 99th latencies. Numerous improvements have been made, such as like not accepting requests without establishing fully functional connection to its peers, and not restarted nodes sending the request to the dead nodes for a while, which is basically impacts all your tail latencies. Next slide, please. Cassandra 4x also has the ability to deny list the bad partitions when it is either being DDoSed or causing noisy neighbor problems on your multi-tenant clusters. Next slide, please. So various other improvements have also been made to improve the speculative retries when there are slow nodes, especially reducing the number of V nodes. Next slide, please. Number of V nodes to improve the availability with more profound research, and analysis on, especially in reducing the number of V nodes. Also there is incremental repair work that has made tremendous progress in 4.0, which is especially in the correctness aspect. I think we are still on the previous slide. All right, yeah. So incremental repair in 4x actually works now. With a lot of improvements made in incremental repair, now we can run them, safely on like petabyte-sized data sets, much faster and safer. This also opens up opportunities to, for the operators to preview the data inconsistencies before they actually get repaired. And remember, the Cassandra is hopefully consistent without repair, so which is what you don't expect from a database. So in 4x, you can run these repairs much faster on a bigger data sets. Next, on the availability aspect, we're talking about, internode networking also helped us in increasing the availability point of view in Cassandra 4x, especially with the introduction of zero copy transfer. We can now stream, replace, or bring a new node into the Cassandra ring much faster. Like when I talk about speed, we are literally maxing your instances network capacity, which is improving your mean time to recover, like when there is an incident and stuff like that, by like 5-fold. A bunch of new features are also being shipped in 4x, but I'm mentioning some of them here, like starting with the audit logging, which is basically a long-awaited and most demanded enterprise feature from a PCI and compliance point of view. Like with this feature on 4x now, you can safely check that box on your DB compliance list, and you can use Cassandra for to store your most secure data and in your enterprises. Cassandra 4x also makes it easy to operate your shared Cassandra clusters by providing more insights through virtual tables and stuff like that. Well, what can you walk away with? Well, Patrick reminded me, dude, this is not a in-person meeting, this is a virtual. Well, what can you log off with today? If you're not using Cassandra yet, start with 4x today. If you're already using Cassandra, next slide, start upgrading to 4x, which is basically tested by the biggest and most prominent deployments of the Cassandra world. So you are in the good and safe hands. Thank you. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Tina. Thank you for arranging this. This is great.
Thanks, Vinay. It was great to hear from you today.
Was I able to answer why we are waiting? Or what are we excited about?
Well, I was busy retweeting from Patrick. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. Now I need to
go check your Twitter, Vinay.
Oh, no. Next time I better send a bio.
Yeah, next time bring a bio. That's all. Or I will make one up for you. But it was pretty good. I have to say.
Oh, it was great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think with this we are ready with the talks, Patrick, right?
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, we only had 4 this time around. So yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks to everyone. You did great. Congrats. Thank you for spending the time with us. And it was great to hear from you. We'll be waiting for you next year again, hopefully. No one really had to resort to song or dance, but let's see the after party, how that will go. I think now we have 20 minutes of an interactive Menti quiz. I think last year we had again Mentis for those that participated.
Let's do it. Let's do a quiz.
Yeah, the quiz will be put up by Constanza team, I think.
Yeah.
We
So
have the Menti
yeah.
quiz here. Yeah.
So use your mobile phone with that link, and we'll get started here in a couple minutes, or in a minute or so. But definitely, this is something you want to type into your phone because speed counts, right? Yeah.
Yep, we'll have 5 questions to go through to test your knowledge today around Cassandra and Cassandra ecosystem. And yeah, let us know if you experience any issues with Menti or if there are any questions. Hopefully not.
Yeah, well, Menti works pretty well, but you gotta, like I said, you have, there we go. You have to do this on your phone or you're gonna be slow, and speed count.
Yeah, there will be a leaderboard wife. Let's see.
Okay, so let's do question number 1. I see we have a lot of people in here already. So let's get going. All right, remember, fast answers. So what is the most current release of Apache Cassandra? 3 seconds. All right. 4.05. Oh, so someone's not keeping up with the changes. Yeah, I know. That's so close, though. 4.01 is close, but that's so old school. We're on 4.05. That actually just happened. Yeah.
Let's give them a credit. It's for least, I think, 2 days old. So
Yeah. Somebody said 4.5. Why? All right, here we go. You ready? When was Apache Cassandra 4.0 GA announced? Oh, when was that? February, July, April, July 20th or 27th? Oh, it's 2020. Hey, all right, people were paying attention. Great. Yeah, so the answer is July 27th, 2021. All right. Oh, see, do we have a leaderboard yet? I think we need to get a couple of questions in before we get a leaderboard. Okay. Question number 3. How frequently does the Cassandra project issue minor or major releases? Every 6 months, every 2 years, yearly, every 18 months? That was quick. Yeah, yearly. That's the right answer. So, okay. That's the .x or x.x, and that's the big ones. Next question. Why was Cassandra initially developed by Facebook? There's a great bit of myth around that. So it's a power inbox search, power marketplace, power the chat feature, Facebook Live. That's right. It's the inbox search. Yes, that was the first one. And I don't even know if they have inbox anymore. It's not even a feature anymore. Yeah. All right, here we go. The next one. What year was the Apache Software Foundation founded? Ooh, the ASF. Oh, this is a trick question, isn't it? Yeah, 1999. Yeah, this is the ASF, not Cassandra. Trick question. Hey, Katerina, you want to take the rest?
sure, I think I can do that. So what is the Cassandra community's first testing tool code? Let's see, Sherry, Barry, Harry, Carrie. All sounds good. Harry, yes. Sorry, it's not Sherry. Maybe the next two. Maybe Sherry, who knows? Question number 7. Get ready. In which programming language is Apache Cassandra written? Python, Go, C, or Java? Okay, Java. It's not Pascal, for sure.
Love the trick questions.
Question number 8. What is a Cassandra enhancement proposal, or CEP? Process to propose new feature development, process to become committer. Okay, that was easy, I guess. Everyone.
Yeah, everyone got that one.
I think. I think it's trendy. I see a lot of them. Okay. Number 9. How many talks are in the Cassandra track at ApacheCon in October? 12, 4, 8, or 10?
That's right.
Yes.
2 days at ApacheCon. 2 days. Yeah.
And I can tell you a secret, we could have had even more if there was more time. I wish there was more time. There is a lot of good things out there. Which of these are actual talks you can watch at ApacheCon in October? Cassandra at Bloomberg, Apache Cassandra at Apple, Path Towards Secure by Default Cassandra, or everything? Oh, everything.
All the above.
And last question. Are you ready to use or contribute to the Apache Cassandra? Yes, heck yes, for sure, all of the above. Okay.
They're all right. There's no no's in here. Right on. Let's see
Okay.
who won.
We have winners. Okay, I think Thomas is our winner. Then the vote goat, the Cassandra guy. But yeah, Thomas, congrats.
The vote goat is my favorite. What is that?
We'll have to find out after that. Who was that?
Yeah. So we got a couple of questions from the audience, and Katerina, you and I can try to answer these. So what is the best migration guide from 3.x to 4.x? I feel like that might be my kind of a question. You're the build the Cassandra person, and I'm the use a Cassandra person. So maybe I can answer this. You'll answer the next one I got for you. To migrate, it's actually pretty simple. I've done a couple of talks on this. Migrating from 3 to 4 there's guides, and I don't know if where a published one is, but just in a nutshell, the migration from 3 to 4 is pretty good, especially if you're running like 3.11, and meaning pretty good, meaning it should be completely seamless. The most important thing is to make sure that whenever you do the upgrade, that all your nodes are the same, that they've been upgraded. You check your driver version. So if you're going to do this in place, it's not something you don't do the upgrade offline. You do it online. And the guidance has always been you start with the first node, and we call it a canary node. Do the upgrade. If everything is fine, no problems, then you can just keep going around the ring and migrate or upgrade each machine in place. So this is how you can upgrade from 3.x to 4.x with 0 downtime. And at the end, you are now on 4.0 with no other things you should need to do. There you go.
And don't forget the news TXT as usual.
All right, Katerina, you can take this next question. Any news for a 4.1 release date?
Oh, that's why you kept it for me.
Yeah.
I feel the pressure now. I feel the pressure. Well, I think it's pretty close. We have a Kanban board that is accessible for everyone. We already have the alpha release, so we encourage everyone to test and get back with feedback, hopefully only good one, nothing to fix. But yeah, there is no bad feedback. Let's be honest. So I think we are almost at beta or release candidate, depending on what kind of Jiras we will have filed. But our alpha board is almost cleaned. I think we are almost green CI also, which was a prerequisite. So
Yeah. Wow.
as it's open
Yeah,
source, there's
Butler.
no really date to share explicit, but it's pretty soon. As we know, we have to go through the whole voting process. But yeah, now look at the CAN board, test, and get us feedback as much as you can. And hopefully soon we will be there, as long as there is nothing big to address, which I don't see at this moment. It should be pretty soon. As you know, there are 2 points where we raised a lot the standards and we keep to them. And the other thing is we are not disappointing you, hopefully. So anything that is brought up, we'll go after it and will not drop the ball. So we have the two things in mind when we are releasing. So hopefully it will be soon, depending on you and on us.
See, this is why this was your answer. You know firsthand. And if anyone else, if you want to be in the stream of knowledge, so to speak, Slack is a great place, but really the dev list, the mailing list for Cassandra, the dev list, that's where all the action is. So you'll see updates, you'll see votes on certain versions. We have, just a lot of, all the traffic there is the official traffic for the project. So this is a great place to be. Yeah, we have a bi-weekly report actually that Josh McKenzie, thanks for doing it. He's producing, and it's pretty extensive. And you can see the latest developments around 4.1. I think that he has a dedicated section actually on that. And yeah, it's a good point. We'll see where we are. Yeah, and soon is a good answer. All right, I think that's all our questions. I don't think we have anything else here. Yeah, so we did talk about like 4.1 being this is a big thing. It's like it's been a year since there was a question. We do this every year, so 4.1 is coming, and we've had a lot of great sessions today. There will be one more. There's one more World Party coming later today, so the party doesn't have to stop unless you're asleep. Then you can watch it on replay. Right, so you can go on YouTube. This is all recorded. These are all going to be on the Planet Cassandra website. If you're registered, you'll get an email. I'm sorry, Planet Cassandra YouTube, not a website yet. But we need to just keep amplifying that. So when you see those links out there, share them with friends, put them on Twitter, send them to coworkers. Getting those views up is great because it helps us promote this great database that we love so much. Yes, thank you for being with us today. And if this is the first time you are with exposed to Cassandra, please go to CassandraApache.org. And we are always looking also for user content. You don't have to be a coder. We are looking for all kinds of contributions, and we are happy with all the people involved, all the people in our community. And thanks for joining us. Also, please join us on Slack. Thanks, everyone. Thanks. See you later. See you. Bye-bye.